brings people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
As the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, we have a lot for you this evening, and joining me to take a look at all that we have for you this evening is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you and welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Extraordinary.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers. It was a weekend load of a whole lot of sporting activity, and we are here to do justice to them all.
All right, taking a look at the latest, talking about the All-African Games. After we've seen out on the podium finish in the table tennis event of the 13th African Games, Team Nigeria. Team Nigeria yesterday, of course, put up an impressive performance at the All-African Games. Michael, we saw the team, they claimed 7 gold medals on the 3 for the event. A gold medal from badminton and 6 gold medals from wrestling ensured the country moved up in the medals table. African Games champion Onua Oluwapo Operi opened the floodgate for Team Nigeria after beating compatriot Godwin Olufayo 2-1 in the finals to defend his men's single title in the badminton event and won Nigeria's first gold at the ongoing edition for the games in Ghana. In the wrestling event, Mercy Genesis defeated Egyptian wrestler Nada Mohammed to clinch a gold medal in the women's 50 kg freestyle. Ogusanya defeated her Ivorian opponent Baka Yoko 11-0 to win the country's second gold medal in the wrestling event yesterday. 3-time Commonwealth champion Adekroyo Dunayo only needed 24 seconds to defeat her opponent Zeneb Hosseina, securing a victory by fall 6-0 to clinch the third gold medal for Nigeria in the 57 kg final. Joining the party was Esther Kola Wale, who showcased her impressive wrestling skills in the 62 kg category to claim the country's fourth gold medal in the wrestling event. Kola Wale, in her first African Games outing, won the final against her opponent by technical superiority. Legendary Blessing Obrodudu, a multiple African champion and Olympic silver medalist, won Nigeria's fifth gold medal after defeating her Cameroonian opponent in Giri 14-4 in the 68 kg finals. Completing the medal sweep was Hannah Ruben, who wrestled her way to victory in the 76 kg category. Reacting to the defeat, the President of Nigerian Wrestling Federation, Danny Gali, applauded the sensational performance of Nigerian wrestlers. Gali, who was impressed with the emphatic victory, expressed satisfaction with the incredible outing by the girls and also praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his magnanimity towards sportsmen and urged the president to reward athletes who excel at the games. Michael, impressive feat, of course, for Nigeria and the All-African Games, especially the wrestlers.
Yeah, impressive feat, Kingsley, and I think I must be I must be a happy man this time because of what the Wrestling Federation has brought so far to the table, because without the Wrestling Federation, I think by now we'll still be battling with trying to lay hand on any gold medal out there. But then, out of the 7 gold medals that we've also gathered so far, 7 is coming in from the world of wrestling federation out there. I think for me, it was a massive display for the wrestlers out there. And of course, we saw the minister, the man who doubles as the Minister of Sport as well, of the Wrestling Federation, talking about Daniel Igali, who also is a sport commissioner for Bayelsa State as well. He was talking very tough, you know, while taking some of the contingent of some of the wrestlers out there down to Ghana. He made it very clear that the team is very prepared, and the wrestlers rather, they are ready to go out there and do battle with other countries out there. And of course, he didn't just end there. They also capped the talking with the walking out there, which actually ensured that we got about 6 gold medals. I think for me it was a massive display. And for me, this is what we need to do in the future going forward. We need to build a team other than building a star, because when you build a star, then the onus will now lie on that single star to go out there and do his or her best. But when you build a team, you know, all these wrestlers stand in a pole position to bring back something tangible. It's either gold or silver medal, but when you actually build a star, then it becomes difficult. When that star is not there, then others cannot come to the party. That is what it means, and that is what we saw in the Table Tennis Federation in the just concluded outing that we went out there, courtesy of the fact that Haruna Quadri wasn't part and parcel of that one, though he was part, but pulled out in less than 24 hours before the official game kicked off at the courtesy of stomach upset. We were unable to win a single game, but then that is what it is when you actually build a star. When that star is not there, it's definitely going to affect the rest of the squad out there. But in this Wrestling Federation, I think they have actually built a team for themselves, and that is why we do not rely on Bless Noboro Dudu or any other wrestler out there. But then we rely on all of these wrestlers because we know that they have equal strength. They have what it takes individually to go out there and spring surprises. Of course, that is what they did out there yesterday by making sure they clinched. It was a clean sweep. When you talk about the wrestling out there, it was a clean sweep for Nigeria. Racking up 6 gold medals, I think, is very massive, and we must commend them. Let's hope that other sporting federations that also, you know, went for the All-African game in Ghana is also going out there to do us proud by making sure they pick 1 or 2 gold medals added to add to what the wrestling team is already doing.
All right, still talking about the All-African Games. Nigeria medal haul at the ongoing 23 African Games in Ghana got major boost today as Edido Omofia won 3 gold medals in weightlifting. Michael, weightlifting, another federation, of course, pour in the medals for Team Nigeria?
Yes, of course. Weightlifting is another area of strength for the Nigerian contingent. They talk about weightlifting, wrestling, possibly athletes as well. You know, these are some of the areas we would definitely, you know, be rest assured that we are certainly going to pick up one or two medals coming in from that axis.
All right, still talking about the All-African Games, Nigeria women's cricket team, the female Yellow Greens, have qualified for the semi-final in the cricket events at the All-African Games. Michael, the Yellow Female Greens, of course, are still pushing this time.
Yeah, still pushing. And of course, for me, I think they're actually doing a whole lot for themselves. They're doing the country proud. Don't forget, they are the least ranked team in our group, but then they've also made it through to next round. So I think it's a great one for them. Let's hope that they can continue in this fine form till possibly they get to the final and possibly give us the gold medal.
Games in Ghana pulling up a big shock among the heavyweights in Group A, where they finished second with 3 points. The female Yellow Greens lost their last group game against the best team on the continent, South Africa, by 4 wickets. So Sunday bought they had 3 points from 1 win and a draw, as well as a superior net run rate of 0.778 was enough to see them throughout the expense of Tanzania and Namibia. Against the South Africans, Captain Blessing team won the toss and elected to bat first, but Nigeria were only able to muster 74 runs all out in 20 overs despite their seemingly strong start. South Africa reached the target with 31 balls remaining in the second innings, finishing with 78 runs for just 6 wickets in 14.5 overs in that particular one. Let's stay away from that particular story as we take a look at other matters as well in the All-African Games. Here, the Council of Sport and Culture in Africa has announced North African country Egypt asked to host of the 2027 African Games. So Egypt to host the African Games in 2027, Michael.
Not surprising for me, Kingsley. You know why I'm not surprised? Because these North African countries have always, you know, have a way of trying to, or being a favorite when it has to do with hosting of any competition here in Africa, because of the fact that they've been able to, you know, put some certain structures and facilities in place which meet up the standard of such a competition there, and that is why they are always highly favored. Contrary to other African countries where it becomes a problem for us to put our facilities in place and meet up the standard of what is required there when such competition comes up. I think it's always very difficult for us to get the nod. Why? Because most time our facilities is not properly taken care of. The maintenance culture is something that we can't keep you know, talking about every day. We discover that most time some of the pitches, the courts that we have here, that they are in comatose, needing for a help for urgent you know, repair. But then the North Africans, most of them, they have, you know, the facilities in place, they have the equipment, and the organizational structure, they are up there. So these are some of the things that makes it look as though they are always highly favored. Not that they are favored, but then looking at what they've been able to put on ground, you can't actually overlook them by giving the hosting right to other countries who does not have such facilities to host such massive and big championships out there. So I think it's a good one for them.
Good one, of course, for Egypt. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how they will be able to, of course, organize the 2027 African Games down here in Africa. But let's talk Formula One as Max Verstappen continued the immaculate start to his quest for a 4th consecutive Formula One world title with a comfortable win over Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As Ferrari stand in Oliver Behrman finished surging 7th and scored points on his unexpected Formula One debut, with Verstappen cantering to his 2nd win in a row at the start of the new 2024 season and in 9th in succession overall, one shy of his own all-time Formula One record around the high-speed Jeddah street track. Much of the focus in the race was again on the fights behind him, with British debutant Behrman capturing much of the attention in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Michael, what do you make of it? It was really another impressive one for Max Verstappen, despite the controversy surrounding him in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Yeah, Kingsley was a massive one for Max Verstappen, despite the power struggle that we are seeing when you talk about the Red Bull and the controversy that is actually rocking the Red Bull right now, where the team chief principal, talking about Honda out there, is not getting it quite easy with Josh Verstappen out there, who, despite the fact that Honda has been also cleared for that allegation, but then it looks as though there's still something in the sleeve. That is why Verstappen father is not giving up. He's still dragging Honda out there. And again, I think there is this talk that Verstappen might possibly, who knows, in 2025 leave Red Bull to Mercedes, courtesy of this controversy. But then I think in all, I think that Verstappen has been very, very emotionally strong, mentally strong as well, because there are some drivers that if they are embroiled with this kind of controversy, I think it will definitely affect their performance out there in the circuit. But then Verstappen was not troubled as he coasted home the victory. I think for me, it's a massive display for Verstappen, and if he continues, this way, I tell you, it's going to be a one-way horse race, just like what we saw of him last season. I think for me, he's just one race away from winning or setting up another record, which he set for himself last time, winning 10 in a row. He has made it 9 this time around, leaving only one to be able to equal that mark. So I think if you ask me, I think Max Verstappen has been on top of his game, and despite the controversy, like I said earlier, he still find a way to put that behind him and focus on this season Formula One race. I think it's a big one. But then, what actually take away some of the shine or some of the talk about Verstappen and the Red Bull victory is about a driver that is making his debut, talking about Botman out there, who finished 7th with a Ferrari. I think for me, I was very, very shocked and surprised. Looking at some experienced drivers such as Lewis Hamilton finishing in the 9th position, even his teammate also finishing in 6th position. I think for me, it's quite disappointing for the Mercedes this time around. For me, I think they truly, truly need to go back and see what... I mean, their engine is not up to standard. You can't actually use such a Mercedes engine to compare with, Red Bull. I mean, they are different apart. And that is why you look as though Hamilton is helpless. You look at it, you begin to ask, is the problem from Hamilton or is the problem from the engine? But I tell you for sure, the problem is certainly not from Hamilton. I think that the problem is with their engine, is with their constructor out there. And for me, I do not see any challenger for the Red Bull and Max Verstappen this season. It's still going to be a one-horse race come this season again.
All right, talking about the way the race ended, Max Verstappen, of course, came first, as Sergio Perez came second, Charles Leclerc third, and Oscar Piastri fourth, Fernando Alonso fifth, George Russell sixth, Oliver Behrman seventh, Lando Norris eighth, Lewis Hamilton 9, Nico Hülkenberg 10. Of course, that was how the race ended over the weekend, talking about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But let's talk about the Nigerian Premier Football League, Michael. We saw some impressive, action over the weekend. Sporting Lagos put up a very impressive performance to beat Remo Stars by 4 goals to 1. It's been a long time, Michael. We saw this level of performance from Sporting Lagos.
Yes, for me, they needed this victory because their performance so far in the last 3-4 weeks now hasn't been quite encouraging. They started the league like a house on fire, but then as the league continued to wear on, it looked as though they've actually lost their form. But with this win, let's hope that they can be able to get back their mojo, get back their rhythm in what we saw last season, even in the Super 8, where they actually did excellent job out there. Coming at the start of this season, they also did an excellent job. But for me, I think they still have a whole lot to offer. Then again, I think also Remo Star, they have 3 of their players who now ply their trade with Sporting Lagos, which among Among them is Junior Locosa as well, and 3 of these players came back to hurt them. So for me, it's a good result for Sporting Lagos, but let's hope that the Paul Ofole side can be able to build on this victory going forward, because for me it was a total and a convincing result for them.
Total and a convincing result in Aba. Chijioke Mboma moved to the top of the goal scorer chart with his 12th goal of the season in the Imbas 1-goal win over Doma United. Michael, we hear that win, of course, was a controversial one.
Very, very controversial, Kingsley. A goal was scored, referee disallowed the goal. Even the linesman had to raise up the flag for an offside. But when there was protest as well, at some point the referee had to go back and he consulted his video assistant referee in the person of a human being and not the VAR improper this time.
We hear he actually went to look at the live match, on the cable TV that it was streamed. Maybe he actually went to look at the replay down there.
For me, whether he went to look at the replay or he had to consult with some other official before making that decision, I think for me it was very unprofessional. We saw the Premier League game yesterday between Liverpool and Manchester City, where they actually deployed the VAR. There was a certain controversy that people were shouting that was supposed to be a penalty against Man City for the tackle of Jeremy Doku against, McAllister in the 18-yard box. But then the referee gave his decision that it wasn't a penalty. He couldn't even go to the VAR room. He made his decision and he stood with it. So this is professionalism of the highest order, and that is what I expect from a ref here to be doing at this point in time. You can't actually disallow a goal. Even the linesman actually insisted that it was an offside. But after some time, after due pressure and all of that, he just went back and busted back into the scene out there and said it was a goal, after he has initially said that it wasn't. So there's a whole lot of controversy. And for me, I think the Nigerian Refereeing Association just need to begin to live up to the expectations so that we can have 1, 2, or even 3 Nigerian referees being part and parcel of officiating any CAF organized competition, because it's as bad as that because of this discrepancy, because of this lack of trust within our referee, CAF no longer pick Nigerian referees for CAF organized competition. For a nation such as Nigeria, who claim to be the giant of Africa, in quotes, a whole African Cup of Nations was hosted in Ivory Coast. Not even a single Nigerian referee was there. That is how bad it is. Okay.
In Ibadan, Shooting Stars trash Akwa United 3-0 to send the Promise Keepers back to the relegation waters, even as Novi Stars kept their place at the top after a 1-0 draw against Abia Warriors in Aba. The only away win was recorded in Yenugua as Niger Tornadoes defeated Bayelsa United 1-0. Hawaii Kasna United deny Heartland FC the victory after snatching a point with a late equalizer from the sport. In other results as well, we saw Rivers United played 1-0 draw against Kano Pillars. Michael, which was another controversy down there in that encounter between Rivers United and Plateau United, where we saw the goal that Rivers United scored looked like a very controversial one. Looked like as if the players, actually used his hand, maybe his head, and all over his body, to push the ball into the back of the net.
So a terrible scramble out there, almost looking like a hand of God goal. So for me, the controversy continues in the NPFL in the match day 34 so far. I think for me, the match commissioners is going to file in their report as regard to these 2 matches that is having a controversy out there, so that I can be able to put it very clear to the public out there on what actually transpired, how the referees were able to manage this game, and why this concern, why the eyebrow raising from different quarter out there on how the referees were able to conduct themselves, on how they were able to organize the game. Because if they don't do a proper check, I tell you, this is going to bring a disrepute and lack of trust with the NPFL league. And this is one thing that we don't want to see, especially now that the league is traveling far and wide. We hear there are about 240-something countries. That is how far the reach is so far, and we don't want to, we don't want to put our league in jeopardy because of this controversies, because nobody will be very happy looking at such controversy in a game. I think for me, the league body and the match officials as well, they just need to sit on a round table discussion. Let the match commissioners file in their report, and each team that have one issue or the other to lodge a complaint, I think they should do that. They should go to the appropriate court and follow the rules and lodge your complaint, and investigation will be taken. If they find it necessary that your allegation or what you allege is actually correct, then they are going to see what they can be able to do about it in order to also keep the integrity of the league going.
Of course, that was how it pans out in that encounter. Bender Insurance beats Gombe United by 2-0 in the other results we saw in the Nigerian Premier Football League. All right, at this point, we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back from the break, we'll head straight to the English Premier League. A lot happened over the weekend, and of course, we'll bring that to you when we'll come back from this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human
On the point of order.
Honourable
On the point of
They are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land on the mountain.
Greenwoods went for goal. Got a good distance. Right again. Fight there, but he does a right hand and down goes Paul straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on.
See Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network, and of course we'll bring you the latest revolving around the world of sports at this moment. We have Gogo Orinemi, of course, joining us at this moment on the show. Gogo, good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Kinsley. Good evening, fans of Joe. Good to be here, sir.
All right, Gogo, we just finished all the sports, but because you're here, we have to take a look at what happened in that bout between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. I don't know what you make of the outcome of that bout.
I would say it was a bout that got me very pleased. It was a very good one. What I enjoy most now is people changing their narrative, especially those who tipped Francis Ngannou to win. All of a sudden now, to them is fixed. All of a sudden they are complaining that Ngannou has never been good. We didn't get this rhetoric, especially when Francis Ngannou knocked down Tyson Fury. So I would say it was a very, very good fight. The card, knockout chaos was great, but the knockout from Joshua, African brother Francis Ngannou, was another level. I would say, yes, it's delivered, and we are seeing a new Anthony Joshua, so we can say this is Anthony O, and this is actually on the guiding leadership to television. And you know, everything that Ben Davidson has to offer, we're seeing someone that is brand new and someone that will take the heavyweight division by storm. So I would say it's a very, very good. Anthony looked fantastic. It was an amateur kind of setting, and Joshua made sure he looked at it. If Tyson Fury had done this job the first time, maybe we won't have seen Francis Ngannou in the ring. But the landlord, AJ, like they call him, he came, he cashed check, and he for the Saudis. Kudos to Turkey Al-Sheikh for making sure that we're still fighting in the heavyweight division, which I think is a premier division for boxing. But at the same time, the quality of the card is gigantic, magnanimous, and I tell you, when they run Fury versus GC, it will be another very good card. And AJ will be sitting at the outside waiting for the person going to face next, because that was the agreement before he signed this fight to fight. I would say on the scale of 1 to 10, I would rate it a 10 over 10 because it delivered like it was promised.
All right, let's quickly stay away from that. Let's take a look at the title race in the English Premier League. Was really a fantastic, actions that we saw over the weekend. But let's take a look at that game between Liverpool and Manchester City. We don't want to talk about all that happened in that game. We just want to go to that controversial, penalty that everyone thought, of course, should have been awarded to Liverpool. But at the end of the day, they were denied that penalty. We saw a very harsh tackle from Jeremy Doku to Mark Leicester in the 18-yard box of Manchester City. But the center referee at the end of the day didn't award Liverpool that penalty. Google, let me put you on the sports now. Do you think that was, of course, a penalty?
I think it was a penalty, but at the same time, because of the inconsistencies in refereeing decisions, I can see a reason why they did not give it. And their reason is he got some part of the ball before he got to Alexis McAllister. But on the top of my head, I can count Cotillon versus Tottenham, Diego Jota versus Tottenham versus I'm trying to remember. Okay, Tottenham versus Chelsea, where the defender Romeo was sent off. These are just on the top decision gone the way of another team because the player got the ball first before the impact made him get to the man. So it's basically the same thing. If that stuff and if that contact had happened anywhere outside the 18-yard box, it's a foul. So in the 18-yard box, it's a foul, it's a penalty. And I would say, Liverpool, yes, they will feel hard come by, but the matter is they had opportunity to win the game to win it. They didn't take it. That's a 1-1 draw games instead of 2 added to it to make it 3. But it's not yet over for them. 10 games to go. I would say yes. The call alone, it was a wrong call by the referee. And Liverpool will not be interested in any apologies by the DGMO because apologies won't restore point. And yes, they've had some decisions not go their way, especially the one against Tottenham where they had called the legitimate goal and it was called for offside because of the miscommunication between the VAR and the ref on the field. So I would say for Liverpool, they'll feel like done by, but the race is not over. All they need to do is keep winning all their games, and hopefully above them is going to falter if they want to the league.
The race not over. Of course, Emmanuel Michael is still here in the studio. Michael, talking about the race not being over, Arsenal, of course, courtesy of that win over the weekend against Brentford, they are now top of the table. As it says, 10 games remaining before to an end. Can Arsenal maintain this position?
Oh, well, Kingsley, when it has to do with Arsenal, you can't actually place your bet on Arsenal. Even if they are 8 or 10 points, on top, and they have teams like Manchester City or Liverpool, going neck to neck against a certain Arsenal. I think for me, there's still a whole lot to play. Don't forget, Arsenal, they still have some couple of big teams to play out there. They are not done and dusted with the likes of Manchester United, the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Chelsea. These are big game for Arsenal, which for me, I think it will be an early call for me to make right now. But as it stands, I think Arsenal is on a vantage position, but then it's still going to be a tall mountain for them to climb. The race is still very much open. As both three teams is going for the jugular against each other. It just boils down to who wants it the most. Is it Arsenal? Can they capitalize on this advantage? They're going to capitulate, and bottle the league just the way we saw last season. Of course, Arsenal, you say they have been playing very beautiful and fantastic football, scoring in the goal, but when it matters most, can they be able to pull the chestnut out of the fire? That is the question. They scored about 5-6 goals past their opponents in last 3 games before the Champions League against Porto. But what happened at the end of the game in the Champions League? They actually failed to register a single shot on target against Porto, and they actually lost that game. And for me, these are some of the games that you expect Arsenal to win. So I cannot place my bet on Arsenal winning the league, but then they have an advantage.
Gogo, let me also put you on the spot as well. What do you make of Arsenal at top of the Premier League table? Do you think they have what it takes, to remain there to the end of the season?
Arsenal are the most informed team in the league, and especially if you look at amongst the big three going for it, Arsenal are the most informed side. They deserve every respect. Combinator, not just because of the free-flowing football, but they can keep it tight at back if they need to. Because in the words of Alex Ferguson, attack wins game, defense wins you championship. And I'll tell you, defensively, especially the work that man Declan Rice has done in middle of the park has been very, very fantastic. When a player is signed and throughout the course of his season, you never once hear he was bought for so amount. That means he's not just doing an average job, he's doing a very good job. You won't look too far in North London to see the hideous twins of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Every time they put up a stinker, the fee that they're being bought for is being mentioned. But Declan Rice once heard about it was bought for close to 100 or something, £1 million. So I would say it's a very, very good acquisition. They have not missed Thomas Partey this season, and that's a club with fantastic. You can't count them out. But I still think the next picture will be what happens between Arsenal and Man City. Whoever wins that game, if it's Manchester City that wins and the Liverpool do not utilize Brighton, then the title is turned on this head. Man City have the technical and mentality in terms of to get through this phase of season. 30 points is at stake. Man City are my best bet for me to run through. But you won't look out Arsenal, and also you won't look out Liverpool.
All right, let's see how it goes this time in the Premier League. Can Arsenal maintain this position down to the end of the season? That's the big question, of course, this evening. And let's also take a look at other results as well from the Premier League. As Aston Villa, they lost to Tottenham Hotspur 4-1. Brighton and Hove Albion, beats Nottingham Forest by 1-0. West Ham United played 2-draw against Burnley, and of course Manchester United were able to beat Everton by 2-0. Bournemouth played 2-draw against Sheffield United, and we saw Crystal Palace playing. They played 1-draw against Luton Town. Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Fulham by 2-1, and of course Arsenal would beat Brentford by 2-1. But let's stay away from the results in the Premier League as we take a look at the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid moved a step closer to regaining Spain's La Liga title as they trash Rafa Benitez Celta Vigo side to restore a 7 points lead under the table. Without the suspended Jude Bellingham, Madrid led when Vinicius Junior stabbed in from close range after his first effort was blocked by Celta keeper Vicente Guilta. Los Blancos were far from their best when they scrapped past RB Leipzig on Wednesday to reach the Champions League quarterfinals in that particular one. Gogo, what do you make of the performance of Real Madrid this season in the Spanish La Liga?
Real Madrid this season, I would say, they've haven't got average, but they've just done what they needed to do to get over the line. And see, you can behave like Arsenal now, blitz through teams, get wins, or you can just grind out to the spot, but until you get the 3 point, I think that's the key to this Madrid side. Like you said, they didn't look fantastic against Leipzig, but they've qualified to the next phase. Yesterday, this team, but they've gotten 3 points. When it comes to end of the season game, play fantastic is good, but if you can't be as fantastic as you were in any point of the season, can you just cross the line and get the 3 points? Then we can talk about performances later. Real Madrid are his side. They've shown and seasons to them and previous seasons, you don't count them out of any time, both in the league and both in Europe. So I would say performances have not been as solid as you want them to be. And any team missing Jude Bellingham is going to hurt. He's their linchman, he's their point man this season. So I would say they did well to get the 3 points. But now, when the draws are made, nobody would want to play Real Madrid. You can talk about their form now, but no one would want to face them. And that's how good of a side they are.
Alaves beat El Vallecano by 1-0, and Las Palmas lost to Atletico Bilbao 2-0, and Real Betis lost to Villarreal by 3-2. Valencia beats Getafe by 1-0. Cadiz beats Atletico Madrid by 2-0. Granada lost to Real Sociedad 3-2, and Girona beats Osasuna by 2-0. Michael, Barcelona were able to get past Real Mallorca in that encounter by 1-0. But still not close to Real Madrid, the league leaders this season.
Yes, of course, quite understandable. Barcelona, they actually dug deep in that very one to ensure that they take all 3 points. But then, I think for me, injury have actually blighted the performance of Barcelona this season. They have a couple of their key players out injured, the likes of Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, just mention them. So it's a whole lot of injury worries. And of course, before the start of this season, Javi, talking about the coach, they actually expected a whole lot of money to be able to get to the market and get the kind of player he wish to use and prosecute this game. But that finance is not coming out there. The support is not coming from the president of the club out there. And having sat to have a heart-to-heart talk with the authority out there, there was no assurance or conviction that he's going to get the kind of fund that he wish, and that is why he has decided to throw in the towel at the end of this season. So for me, I would not actually blame Javi. I will cut him the slacks because he's dealing with a very depleted squad, and he had to rely on the La Masia product. There we've seen a couple of youngsters that he also, that is also trying to blend, into the first team. Look at a player like Yamin Lamar, such a kid. You don't even expect him to be starting for Barcelona, but courtesy of the fact that they are depleted in squad, and that is why such young, player is coming to have a first team stake with Barcelona. So I think. For me, I would not, like I said, I wouldn't actually blame the coach because he's doing everything possible to ensure that he continues to compete for the league. And of course, he's still very much open, seated in third position. I think he's done a great job so far.
All right, let's take a look at the Italian Serie A, as Leeds, of course, lost to Verona by 1-0. AC Milan beat Empoli by 1-0. Juventus played 2-draw against Atalanta. Fiorentina played 2-draw against Roma. And Cagliari beat Salernitana by 4-0. Sassuolo beat Frosinone by 1-0. Bologna lost to Inter Milan by 1-0. Genoa, they lost to Monza by 3-2 in that particular encounter. Napoli played 1-draw against Torino. But Gogo, it might meant where Inter Milan, of course, will lay their hands once again on the Italian Serie A title. All right, okay, we'll tend to see if we can get the reaction of Gogo back, but let's quickly move on now as we take a look at the German Bundesliga. Nathan Teller and Florian Weiss got the goals as Bayer Leverkusen beat 10-man Wolfsburg 2-0 on Sunday, taking their team closer to a first-ever Bundesliga title. Bayern Munich 8-1 win over Mainz on Saturday, including Harry Kane's fourth hat-trick of the season, had cut the gap to 7 points with 9 games left, and Leverkusen, who are still unbeaten in all competition this season, sits 10 points ahead of Bayern Munich. Michael, Bayer Leverkusen, of course, are not relenting at all in the title race.
Yeah, still pushing, and for me, I expect them to lift this very one. 10-point drift of Bayern Munich. I think for me, it's a great job that Xavi Alonso have done with this, certain Bayer Leverkusen squad who do not, we want to say they don't have maybe some of the big names out there, but they are playing like a unit. I mean, you need to see the energy, you need to see the dedication and passion coming in from the players as well. So I think this is what you have when you have a team, a squad that is ready to fight for each other, that is ready to fight for one another on the pitch of play. Definitely result must come your way, and I wish them well this season, and I wish they also break the jinx of Bayern Munich dominating the La Liga. I mean, sorry, the Bundesliga.
You mean?
Yeah.
Bochum, of course, lost to Freiburg by 2-1. Eintracht Frankfurt beat Hoffenheim by 3-1. Bayer Leverkusen beat Wolfsburg by 2-0. And Bayern Munich would totally beat Mainz by 8-1. Augsburg as well. They actually beat Heidenheim by 1-0. Borussia Mönchengladbach played 3-draw against Cologne. RB Leipzig, they beat Stuttgart by 2-0. Werder Bremen lost to Borussia Dortmund by 2-1. Stuttgart beat Union Berlin by 2-0. In the French Ligue 1, we saw Paris Saint-Germain. They played 2-0 draw against Reims. Le Havre, they beat Toulouse by 1-0. Mainz beats Clermont Foot by 1-0. Strasbourg lost to Monaco by 1-0. They played 2-0 draw against Rennes. Marseille beats Nets by 2-0. Lorient lost to Lyon by 2-0. ROC Lens beat Brest by 1-0. And Nice, of course, lost to Montpellier by 2-1. Those are the latest results as well from the French Ligue 1. Michael, our time is up. we have to call it a wrap up this point in time. It's been an impressive time, of course, looking at the weekend happenings in the top 5 leagues, as well as the All-African Games down here on the show.
Yeah, it's been a nice moment doing this with you, Kingsley. We'll make a return again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow,
7 a.m. is the time. We're back, of course, on Sports Talk to bring you the latest from the All-African Games in Ghana. Don't forget, PISA units over the pathways to progress. You can go down to different social media handle. The conversation continues right there. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel. Thanks for watching.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis,